Welcome to The Explainer. You know that endless digital busy work that just eats up your day? Well, today we're going to talk about a new AI tool from Google that's designed to make it all just disappear. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to dive deep into Google Workspace Flows. We'll start with the problem it's trying to solve, then we'll meet the AI brain behind it, break down how it actually works, and check out some real-world examples. And of course, we'll see how it stacks up against the other tools you might already be using. First up, let's talk about the daily digital grind. I want to start with a problem that I think we all know way too well, even if we don't always think about it, that constant low-level hum of digital busy work. I mean, seriously, think about your typical day. How much of it is you doing the work you were actually hired to do versus all the little tedious tasks that just keep things moving? It feels like we're just drowning in this stuff, right? All this repetitive manual work that pulls us away from the projects that actually matter. Yeah, this digital busy work is just a massive productivity killer. It's the nonstop copying and pasting between a sheet and a doc. It's manually sorting your inbox trying to figure out what's important. It's chasing down your colleagues for that one simple approval or updating that project tracker for like the 10th time this week. It's all stuff that has to get done, but it's not strategic work, and it just devours our most precious resource, our time. So that's the problem. But imagine, what if you could just hire a super smart assistant to handle all of that for you? Well, that's pretty much the promise behind the tool we're going to break down today, Google Workspace Flows. So this is it, Google Workspace Flows. Basically, it's a no-code automation tool that lives right inside the apps you're already using every single day. You know, your Gmail, your Docs, your Sheets. The whole idea is to make automation feel like a natural part of your workflow, not some separate thing you have to go and figure out. But here's the thing. Flows isn't just another automation tool. It's powered by something Google calls agentic AI. And this is a really big deal. It's a huge step up. See, instead of just following a simple, rigid command, an agentic system can actually understand your goal. It can reason about the context of what you're doing, and then it can execute a whole series of actions to get that goal done for you. It's like having an assistant that can actually think. So let's make this super clear. The big shift here is the complexity. The old way of doing automation was very if this, then that. You know, if a new email comes in, then add a label. Simple, right? But agentic automation, it's way more dynamic. When a customer email comes in, it can actually read and understand the content, summarize the key issues, draft up a pretty thoughtful reply, and update a tracking sheet, all from that one single trigger. It's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, so that sounds pretty cool, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the basic building blocks that make every single flow tick.
It turns out, every flow, no matter how simple or complex it looks, is built from just 3 core parts. First, you've got the starter. That's just the trigger, the thing that kicks the whole process off. Then you have your actions, which are the specific tasks the flow does. And finally, you have the secret sauce, the AI steps. This is where Google's AI model, Gemini, really does the heavy lifting and the smart thinking. And these AI steps are powered by a really cool concept called gems. The best way to think of a gem is like a customizable little AI agent. You get to train it, you tailor it to exactly what you need, you give it a purpose, you can even give it a personality and a specific set of instructions to follow. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Look at how specific you can be. This isn't just telling the AI translate to French. No, you're giving this gem a whole persona. You're telling it how to behave. Be a friendly French pen pal. You're basically creating a language practice partner. This level of customization, being able to give the AI a personality and a job, is exactly what makes it so powerful. So this ability to give AI a really specific job, a personality even, that's the magic right there. So let's see how all these pieces, the starters, the actions, and these custom AI gems actually come together to solve real-world problems. We're going to walk through a couple of pretty powerful examples. Okay, first up, a problem I'm sure we all know and love, managing a shared inbox. It can be a total nightmare. So imagine you could build an automated system to handle every single incoming customer support email. Okay, so check this out. Here's how it would work. The flow starts the second a new email hits the inbox. Then the AI step kicks in. It reads the message, it figures out what product it's about, how urgent it is, then the actions take over. It extracts all the important details, logs them neatly in a Google Sheet, and then posts a perfect little summary to the right team in Google Chat. A human being doesn't have to touch it until it's actually time to solve the customer's problem. Incredible, right? All right, for our next example, another really powerful one. Let's talk about smoothing out that handoff process between a sales team that just closed a big deal and the account manager who's about to take over that new relationship. That can be a messy process.
And this example's great because it shows how a flow can manage a much more complex, multi-step process. So the moment a deal is marked closed, the flow springs into action. It reads through all the sales notes, creates a standardized handoff document from a template, drafts a professional-sounding recap email for the customer, and can even schedule the kickoff meeting on the team's calendar. It's connecting docs, AI, and calendar, all into one seamless, automated workflow.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but the big question is, how does Flows stack up against other automation tools that you might already know about or even be using right now? Well, it really comes down to using the right tool for the right job. Flows is specifically designed for regular business users to automate their own work inside the Google world. Now, tools like Zapier, they're fantastic, but their whole thing is connecting hundreds of different external apps together. Then you've got Google Apps Script, which is for developers, people who need to write custom code and have total control. And finally, platforms like Zenfi are built for those huge enterprise-level processes, with things like formal human approvals. So Flows isn't trying to replace all of those. It's filling a very specific, user-focused gap. So after all that, what's the big picture? What's the main thing you should be taking away from all of this? Okay, so here's the bottom line. First, because Flows is native to your workspace, your data stays secure, which is huge. Second, because it's powered by this agentic AI, it's actually intelligent, not just rule-based. Third, because it's no code, it's accessible to literally anyone. But I think the biggest takeaway here is the shift in how we think about this stuff. We're moving away from just automating a single tiny task to orchestrating entire end-to-end workflows. And ultimately, that's what Flows really changes. It takes the whole idea of automation from being some big, complicated IT project and turns it into a simple, personal question that every single one of us can start asking ourselves. What's the first repetitive, boring task you're going to hand off to your new AI assistant?